Greetings, everybody. The truth will rise, and I'm actually having to do a reshoot of this video because apparently the last time that I uploaded it, it didn't have any audio, and I had already erased the original. So I'm gonna do it again, and hopefully it will be as good as it was the first time, or it will be even worse. I don't know. But anyway, the crux of the first video was basically this conversation I was having with this brother, and we were talking about, I don't even know actually how we got to talking about finances and money and all that good stuff, but whatever. Anyway, so he was talking about, you know, he was doing well for the month, that he had knocked out all his things, and then he was like, all I got to do is pay these couple medical bills and I'll be good to go. And I was like, man, that's good. You know, you're budgeting your money, yada, 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 whatever. Then he was like, oh, wait. He says, and I quote, he says, I have to pay Jesus. And I stopped and looked at him. I said, well, how much do you owe him? You know, and then he kind of looked, and then he said, well, he was like, well, you know, I guess I can't pay this medical bill then. And, you know, the conversation ended shortly after, but I was taken aback by that for so many reasons. But the fact that you would not take care of your legitimate financial responsibilities to make an arbitrary payment to a deity, which, never mind, you know, the fact that if, what's going on? The most powerful being in the universe would really need something as finite as money is beyond me. I don't really get that. And furthermore, you know, let's be honest, I'm assuming, because I didn't ask, but the fact that he was referring to that in those terms, I'm gonna assume, make a fairly educated assumption and guess, that he was talking about tithing, which, you know, when that comes up in church, they always talk, they quote the verse from Malachi, shall not a man rob God, yada, yada, yada. So we meet in my house. You know, but if you actually do a little bit more reading and research, what you will find is that, one, in those years, not everyone tithed. Okay, it was only people who grew things, farmers, herdsmen, things of that nature. And it was not every week. And it was for the Levite priests because they didn't have an inheritance. But, you know, that's another story. I'm not a biblical scholar. I'm just someone who just reads things. But I just want to say this, that, you know, this sounds like something straight out of the prosperity gospel. And I only say this because of a comment he said. You know, he was like, I got to do it now, but when mine comes in, that in the prosperity gospel, that, you know, that somehow, you know, if you keep doing this, then somehow one of these days your ship is going to come in and you're just going to be rolling in dough and all of this. And I think it's pernicious. I think it's wrong to do these types of things, because what it does is it takes advantage of hope and plays on fear. You know, by that eternal, oh, it's coming when it happens, and then playing on that, if you don't do it, you know, people will do this to not pay their bills, to not eat, to not do these things, to feel that they have to do this. And I think that it's wrong, and those who are proponents of this are either misinformed, miseducated, wrong, or taking advantage of someone. And just this conversation, I was just like, wow, man. And the thing that really got to me is that I can guarantee you that he's not the only person who thinks like that. There are thousands, millions of people who would do the exact same thing. And that is scary. It's scary because, you know, that has been, I don't know, drilled into them. It's been put on them that they feel that they need to do that in order to gain favor, gain approval from their deity, from the deity, or whatever you want to term it. And something about that seems flawed. You know, I could go into, you know, really what I think about it, but that's that's like another 15-minute video, and I don't have time for it. But I was really just taken aback and kind of saddened by this conversation with this brother, and it just really made me step back and kind of look at some things. But I'm sorry about the glare here. But I'd like to know what are your thoughts on this? What would you have done if you was in this brother's predicament? Have you done something like that? Have you maybe skipped a light bill or a car payment or whatever to do that? But let me know in the comment section if I haven't lost the 4 or 5 people who will watch this video. But as always, even in disagreement, let's keep it intellectually honest and classy, and we can have a productive discourse, even if we may not have the same perspective. But with that, I'm going to end this video. It's The Truth Will Rise. There we go. Wishing everyone peace, power, and positivity.